Hello everyone, welcome back to another thrift store finds video, and stay tuned because right after I upload this, I actually already filmed it, right after I upload this I'm going to be uploading day one of the annual book sale. A lot of really good stuff. But over the weekend we did a stop to Goodwill, and this is what we found in that one single trip. This is really interesting. I've never seen this before, but it is a VHS copy of a live production of Where the Wild Things Are, a theater production. You can see on the back. That is pretty fascinating on VHS. And then we have Pinocchio and the Emperor of Night, which is just, it's a cool cover. It's like fascinating, somewhat horrifying, creative. Love that cover art. Then we have John Carpenter's Christine. It's an 80s copy, which is always better to find. Made for Each Other with Carol Lombard and Jimmy Stewart. So that's a cool find as well. And the last thing, pulled it out. And, you know, you go a little nuts sometimes when it's really busy. Went on the weekends, it's busier than normal in the bargain room, and grabbed a tape that ended up not functioning. Ended up being a broken tape, which really sucks. It doesn't happen very often, but it really stank too because it was funny. Amanda was way more disappointed than I was, which is because if you're a certain age group, you'll understand. But I found a VHS copy of Girls Gone Wild, Endless Spring Break. And, you know, a VHS of Girls Gone Wild, and for a period of time in the early 2000s, especially like 2002, 3-ish to maybe around 2006 or so, it wasn't very long, there were certain infomercials and commercials that were on late night endlessly in loops. If you're up watching, you know, TV, like old movies sometimes, or you're up watching Adult Swim when it very first started, some late night, you know, Cartoon Network, late night Sci-Fi Channel marathons of old movies, you would see just on endless loops things like Miss Cleo and Girls Gone Wild, and there were just a handful of these that if you watch TV late at night for a couple hours, you probably saw like 5 Girls Gone Wild commercials. And neither of us, yeah, we've seen those commercials hundreds of times, and neither of us have ever, you know, seen a Girls Gone Wild like tape. So it was just really funny. We're like, I would actually see that. Just this weird nostalgic sense of curiosity. It's just garbage. Yeah, garbage softcore nonsense, but just out of it, this weird, we were both really like excited, like, yeah, you know, I've seen that commercial so many times in like high school and never actually saw one. Curious, and that was broken, so that was sad. Then a bunch of stuff on other formats, not a lot with books. There were a couple in here, but the book sale is coming up, so it doesn't really matter. We have the Musketeers Train Ride. That's a cool early Disney. And I never realized there was a new version of the Viewmaster. There's a virtual reality version of the Viewmaster. I used to have, you know, that old red one with the either an orange or a white, just like a thing you click down, you see image by image. But apparently there's a new thing, and it's more digital. But Batman the Animated Series for the new Viewmaster. A few more book finds, some Pengo things, and then this is a first edition in really good shape, Crown of Swords, Book 7 in the Wheel of Time. This is one of those super long, very hefty series that is a fantastic read, but aside from like the first one is like a real classic that I remember and had the audiobook and whatever, it's not a series I think I would ever spend the time to reread, because I mean, it's how many books are in the whole thing. I read it all like back when they were coming out with, was it 14 or something? I don't even remember off the top of my head, but it takes so long to read through them all. They're the kind of thing where it's like you read through once, it's worth doing. I definitely suggest if you've not read them, you read through the series. It's fantastic, but just not one of those that I would reread ever. There's a lot of fantasy that's like that, where the series they just go on forever. So many volumes, and they're so thick, and they take up so much time that they're great to read, but read once kind of thing. A lot of Terry Goodkind, things like that. One random Star Wars figure, I have no idea who this dude is. Amanda picked him up just in the bargain bin. This is like 5 cents, so whatever. Cool. And one sealed Blu-ray. We have Blu-ray DVD combo of Catching Fire. This is all bargain room. I don't think we got anything in the main room. No, actually, yeah, we got something in the main room. What are we getting? Oh, these two. We got the Fox Studio Classics, the 75 years collections. When around 2003, 2004-ish, they released a whole bunch of these Studio Classic collections from 20th Century Fox, a bunch of different movies. This one has The Desert Rats, 12 O'Clock High, Von Ryan's Express, and The Young Lions. This set has Death Set, Hollywood Cavalcade, How to Steal a Million. I really like that movie. I have the Twilight Times Blu-ray of that. Really good. And I Was a Male War Bride with Cary Grant. So we grabbed those. And this is from the American Girl collection. I explore Felicity's world as a trivia challenge and some interactive stuff on DVD. And we have Codex Armies of the Imperium from Warhammer. And Barbie Holiday. A few Leapster games. Those don't go for a ton, but they're worth grabbing if you find them in the bargain room. This Sandra Bullock movie, I've never seen this one, Hangmen, and these were such a weird DVD case style that you don't run into very often. Like at the beginning of DVD, you had those cardboard snapper cases where it's like a VHS style cardboard, and then just the side has that plastic that would snap shut, and the spines always wear out on those. And a few times you'd run into these, which were more like a CD jewel case, and yeah, I just don't see them very often. They're really just bizarre case style. But never seen them before. Hangman, but we might watch that one because we both like Sandra Bullock. And one of the really old Mill Creek packs. This is the old Mill Creek logo style. But some of them are really good. I always defend Mill Creek. Now they've actually become a little more of a boutique brand for a lot of movies, a lot of translation work, a lot of steelbooks and like limited editions, and they're also a great brand for releasing a lot of old TV shows that other studios just they don't touch, or if they release it, it's only for they might remaster it just for digital distribution on like Amazon or Netflix or Hulu or whatever. Mill Creek will do physical versions of a lot of those and like Blu-ray releases. And even back in the day, some of these 50 movie packs, some of them were full of a bunch of crap. A lot of them were public domain sources, but some of them had really good movies. I mean, I have a bunch of these 50 movie packs, and I probably have, between all the sets that I have, probably 10 to 15 movies that have Criterion Collection counterparts because they're really good movies. And they're a great cheap way of discovering a lot of classics. Like this collection here, this Hollywood Legends, they're not the greatest sources, it's not the greatest copies of these movies, but there's so much stuff in here. You have Barbara Stanwyck, Hedy Lamarr, Bob Hope, Frank Sinatra, Rudolph Valentino's in here, Ginger Rogers, Gary Cooper, Marilyn Monroe, Gregory Peck, Gloria Swanson, Bela Lugosi, Jane Mansfield. It just goes on and on and on. A lot of classic actors, and some of these are good movies like Dishonored Lady, The Bigamist, Diamond Thieves. There's a whole bunch in here, and some classics that have gone into public domain since then end up in here. So these are just really cool collections. Finding that in the bargain room for like maybe $2, it's cool to have a big collection of those. So I always love those Mill Creek packs, and they're a great way of just exploring and finding things. So anyway, that was the finds for the weekend from thrift stores, and look forward to 3 days in a row of videos of all the stuff we find at the big annual book sale. This is always a huge thing every year. We find a lot of stuff, so it's something we really look forward to.